Peace, peace. How you doing? My name is HB with Good Energy Productions and Home-Based Poetry. Be sure to tune in and check out my episode of Defined with Poetry.Hype. How you doing, everybody? My name is Harold Branch III, better known as HB, especially when it comes to poetry. And I'm going to share one of my favorite poems with you, one of my most honest, one of my most transparent pieces with you, entitled My Truth. And just a little preface to the piece. I wrote this because I was tired of being misunderstood. Sometimes for me, it was tough because I felt as though others just couldn't get the way my mind was working and the way that I see the world and the way that I engage and why I may feel as intensely as I feel about different things. So I often felt very disconnected. Even those that, love me a lot still struggle to understand my perspective. So I wanted to do my best to write something that truly expressed who I am as a person and how I see things. And it was also, at the moment, a really, really rough time for me from a mental health perspective. And, neurodivergence is real and it can cause us to move in different ways. And this poem kind of represents that. So, my truth. I feel in color, even my dreams are loud. I hear the thoughts hidden by your words. So sometimes I overwhelm in a crowd. That particular stanza is kind of powerful for me, and starting it out that way as the attention getter, that I feel in color, just to really emphasize how intense these feelings are. And because I've run events for so long, and huge events, and people often see me around people, they think I never get nervous on stage or that I'm just always comfortable. And I overwhelm in big crowds, and I got a level of social anxiety, for lack of a better term, and things like that, like a lot of artists. And so that surprises people, but I wanted to express it because it's so much stimuli. So it could be difficult for me sometimes. I don't like, I love. I don't hate, I despise. I don't taste, I savor. I don't see with just my eyes. I can feel the wind shift. I can even feel hearts change. I don't just focus, I obsess. I don't just win, I reign. I'm really trying to express that, okay, you think that, okay, I like this person. No, I love. No, I don't just hate, I despise. It's extreme. It feels so extreme all the time. And that can be exhausting, but it's genuine. It's not me exaggerating. It's not me being dramatic. It's not me, trust me, if it makes the people around me uncomfortable, imagine how it makes me feel. I'm way more uncomfortable with this stuff than those who I may annoy with the intensity of my emotions. But it's also what makes me special, what makes me dope. Sometimes it's hard to see that it makes me dope, though, and I'm sure some folks could relate to that. I don't clap, I cheer. I don't fight, I destroy. I don't experience the world like others. I realized that as a boy. I don't befriend, I bond. I don't date, I consume. I can be hurtful, so I don't argue, I disagree. I cherish masculine and feminine, I am in tune. I don't get annoyed, I get devastated. I don't have sex, we combine souls. Two mortals unite to become one God. Since I was young, I've been old. That's something that I've been accused of for a very long time. Maybe it's my hypervigilance, Maybe it's just being raised by my granny and my uncles and being definitely the youngest person in the house of a lot of people. But recognizing I've always been that deep thinker, trying to understand the why of the thing. And once again, not being able to turn that off can be exhausting. So this is really about that piece of it. I don't talk, I recite. I don't read, I absorb. I don't cook, I nurture life. I don't sacrifice, I fall on the whole sword. Man, I got so many examples of that in my life. Not just sacrificing, but just giving it all up. Just having so much confidence that, you know what, I can carry the weight. I've been carrying so much weight for so long. Since I could remember, since 1 year old, I've been carrying so much weight. So I have always been willing to accept it and kind of shelter people around me. And it's a pleasure, but it's also really, really tough because it adds up over time. I can feel others' pain, and it doesn't leave enough room for my own. I don't take breaks, I vanish. I'm too raw not to be alone. People talk about being an empath, and people talk about having different depression or anxiety. Feeling depressed and having depression is different. Having anxiogenic responses to those kind of environments, anxiety responses, is different than having debilitating anxiety. And I really do love people, and I really do try to help and try to understand the world around me and then share what I discovered, because I do believe I have a gift for that. But to be good at that means it causes me to understand other people really fast. And I see hurt in people fast, and I connect with it quickly. And it is a blessing, and it's a gift, and it is heavy. And sometimes I don't have enough bandwidth, and especially at the time of writing this, to truly deal with my own demons, because I'm helping out with so many other folks' demons, and I can't even turn it off. Hence, I can feel others' pain, and it doesn't leave enough room for my own. So I don't take breaks, I vanish, because sometimes the overwhelm becomes too much. I just have to go away, and I don't always do it the right way. I'm too raw not to be alone, because sometimes things hurt that shouldn't hurt. And it's unfair to the people around me. They shouldn't have to tiptoe. They shouldn't have to do these different things. But self-consciousness and other aspects could cause it to be uglier than it should be. I'm so tired of being big. I do my best to get small. I try to stop caring. I envy those who don't care at all. Being successful, being seen as successful, even moderately, and being respected for having a career, for work that you've done that has touched other individuals that you've worked hard for and that you've earned. It also causes a level, the praise also comes with a responsibility. And you know people are looking to you. You know you have to move a particular way. So now everything you do or say runs through a filter. And you can get tired of that, right? You get tired of being big. You get tired of being expected to do stuff. And some of you can understand you can care so much that you wish you didn't have to care at all. Because there's people around us that don't care, and they often seem a whole lot happier. And it's tough. It's really, really tough. I don't have breakups. I die. I don't fall in love. I see my future. I bawl. I don't cry. I don't write. I bleed on paper. People write for different reasons. To be honest, I started writing poetry when I was 14 because I wanted to die. It's just that simple. I didn't want to be here. I didn't know how to. It became my coping mechanism. And so I put everything into my words. It's a diary, which makes it so scary for me, because I'm literally reading pages out of my diary half the time I'm reading poetry, more than half the time. So that could be tough. And even in relationships, just having that kind of romantic feel. But a person like me is like, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not do it to the nth degree if you're gonna do it at all? And that mentality causes great things to happen, but it also causes great disappointments. It also causes everything is great. Everything is magnified. Okay. Anyway, I experienced the world very different from others. That's why I'm only understood in parts. I'm in constant struggle, like the blood in my body is drowning my heart. That turn of phrase meant a lot to me, because the very thing that's keeping me alive, the blood in my body, is also the very thing that's killing me. So you can't get rid of it. You need it. You don't want to get rid of it. But it feels like that very thing is also destroying, is drowning me. These next couple lines are real. I hurt too easy. I feel too deep. I love too hard. I see tomorrow when I sleep. My nerves are too exposed, so pleasure feels too good. Loneliness hurts too much, and I understand others way more than I should. It would be nice if it was a dimmer switch I could use as far as this. It's like a weird superpower, like I'm an X-Man sometimes, and you just can't control it, and all the thoughts are hitting you at the same time. And even though self-awareness and emotional intelligence and knowing how you feel, even though that's a gift and it's a blessing, in practice, it is a lot. It's a lot. It could be fairly heavy. And I won't go too deep into it, but I'm from the west side of Chicago, raised in the 90s, 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And that really wasn't an environment for sensitivity, you know? So the very thing that is maybe the healthy thing to do, which is be in tune, in practice, it's not always the best. So you end up hurting too easy. I feel things too deep. And it's been times where I found myself being mad at myself, hating being sad that I was sad, being mad that I was mad, depressed that I'm feeling depressed. Loneliness hurts too much because I just got my thoughts bouncing around in my head. It's my tortured artist poem, I guess. So I crawl inside myself. I've bet too big and I've been too wrong. Part of me really feels that, no, I know it was a blessing for me to just make it out of childhood with the early tragedies of my life. From my dad not being, around, my mom's tragic death by suicide when I was 2, just growing up on the block, you just name all the things. And everyone has those things for themselves. But because I went through all that, I told myself, since I'm here, go for it. It's the pendulum theory. One of the ways that I made it through some of my darkest depression moments I wanted to give up on everything, including life itself, was believing in the pendulum. And the pendulum theory is, however bad it felt in one direction, then I am owed the same intensity, the same level, the same extreme of good that's in the other direction. I expect that pendulum to swing with the equal amount of intensity in the other direction. And that's what I deserve. So that's what I would go for. So I bet big on love, and I've been wrong before. I've bet big on business thing. I bet big on life. Instead of going the traditional 9-to-5 route, I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna be a businessman, I'm gonna do these things so I could be a stay-at-home dad with my kids, so I could do this, and I'm gonna play this long game, 5, 10, 20-year long game. I've bet really big on things, and if it would have worked, it would have been classic, but it often didn't work. And the problem with betting big is you lose big, too. But, man, I can't fathom not going for it, though. I can't fathom not going for it. It's almost like it's just who I am, even though it comes with so much struggle. So I crawl inside myself, but sometimes those losses add up, and it makes you feel it made me feel some kind of way about me. So I crawl inside myself. I've bet too big and I've been too wrong. I actually don't know anything about this world at all. I've come to realize I burn too bright to burn for too long. A lot of times people, when they see you from the outside, especially when they look up to you and they admire you, it's like, man, you have the answers. But every answer that you get comes with 20 more questions. So the more you know, the more you don't know. And as counterintuitive as that may sound, or that may feel, as counterintuitive as that may sound or that may feel, it's honest. And I wrote this in one of my darker, more honest spaces. I was struggling. I was really going through it, trying to justify what was happening, trying to find myself again. And yeah, that last line hit it on the head. I actually don't know anything about this world at all. I've come to realize, and it was that last line actually that was kind of kicked the piece off. The first line of the poem and this last line. I feel in color, even my dreams are loud. But this last line brought it together for me. I burn too bright to burn for too long. And I think I'm not the only one that has felt that way. And it says a lot. And I respect the work of mine that I love the most is when I look at it or I read it and I say, exactly. I captured how I honestly, truly feel. Good, bad, or indifferent. In that moment, that is how I feel. Truly, honestly felt. And this was a phase where I went back to just being honest. So, my truth.